This being modest, I am your highness, I am not, I am the finest. You rappers, plus you a liar. Don't idolize and I don't admire. Been doing me for like ever. I'm a better me, more clever. It's a new way. We surfing, baby, new age. That's a certain, baby. Let's take a ride. Put your for the ones that die. It's last tonight, just you and I. Get lost tonight and lose your mind. I'm it. I'm it. I'm it. I'm it.
Hello, everybody.
Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Evergreen State and CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington. Straight ahead, a rematch of Super Bowl 48, and it should be a good one between the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon, finding some room at midfield. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
Back to throw. There he goes inside the 30. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Well, that's how they envisioned to get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. These are his numbers from last week's contest. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
Now Goff. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
And they give this time to the tailback. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. Goff. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. 4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. That'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Leopard.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Looking left side, and he's got him in. That's Mason. There he goes left side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks get the quick strike touchdown. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the Broncos coming out now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Here's Goff now on 2nd down. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. On 2nd down, here's Goff. Quick hitch, complete. It's Fisher. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
Then he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Own side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Here's Riley Dixon now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Here we go now. Green. No. Check. Patriots.
Back to throw here. He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. A big play there. 78 yards. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, doesn't matter.
And it's blocked. And the Broncos have it. Accelerating, and off he goes. He's at the 40, past the 20, 10, 5, and all the way into the end zone, and that's 2 points. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And coming out now, the Broncos. And this is their third drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
He fights forward for a couple with a penalty flag down. And the linemen, they're already walking back. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. Give him 5 yards there, and it'll bring up second down.
He hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Now a handoff here to his running back. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more.
While there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. He's only had a couple of carries. I mean, when you've got a horse like this, second quarter, got to start to ride that horse a little more, don't you?
You can't just neglect him. He's got to touch it, and often, in order to get maximum out of him. Typically, these types of backs, it's the accumulation of carries, and that's when you see the damage as the game goes on.
Yeah, let's see. They're going to try to get him into the flow, we would assume here. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Again, it's Mixon. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage is come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Detroit! Back 99 Philly, here we go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll drop to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Two minutes remain here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. We're just 2 minutes away from sending you to Orlando for Larry Ridley and our EA Sports halftime report, so don't forget about that coming up shortly.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a halftime without him, and we thank him for doing the highlights. Let's go get a snack.
And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
And on this play, the read for the quarterback was the defensive end, and he was totally focused on the quarterback. He should have given it off inside to the running back. Instead, he kept it and ended up taking a loss on the play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. Offense staying ahead of the chains here, 2nd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Out of the gun. Gone. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
To throw on 2nd down is gone. And this one is incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Goff now looking to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Now they got to get to the line quickly.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get into him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in the zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Throwing again is gone. And it's caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Jake Butt in the final seconds of the first half. And the Broncos cut into that lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Now the punter Dixon out to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll come out throwing here on first down. He'll rifle this one deep right side and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away at second down.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag. But you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the offense lining up 1st and 10.
Leopard, set, blue, landed, gun.
They'll throw now on the final play. Going for the deep ball. And this is caught inside the 5. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
You're going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. A shotgun snap for Gone. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Call it a gain of 3. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
play fake, and it's gone. Able to shake him off. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. 19 yards that time for number 19. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
And after the good game last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And now here's a carry heading left. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
DeForest Buckner is a really tall defensive end / defensive tackle. How about that move right there to get upfield and make the play on the offensive backfield? Excellent leverage.
You're right. Tall, big, 6'7", nearly 300 pounds. Here's Goff into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28, and they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Now that's watching now, Barney. Check. 4 down. Back out of Philly. Detroit. 36.
Mixon gets the nod to start the drive. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. And some options here for the offense on 2nd and 2. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock, and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now they run with Mixon. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
No. Check. Patriot. Let's go. B19.
They'll run here with Mixon. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Mixon. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he will have a first down as they get into the ground at the 37. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now Mixon. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Now a handoff as they run left side. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Defense doing their job, really nowhere to run the football.
Yeah, it's almost textbook, wasn't it? Every place he tried to find an open spot, there just wasn't one. Congrats to the defense, no gain.
Call fitting your gaps, right?
I love it. You're exactly right.
So they need 6 yards here on 3rd down. They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down tries so far on this drive. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle.
You having fun with this one, partner?
I am. He's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving them up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
From the gun, here's Gone. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And a loose football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Seattle now ready to march onto the field. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
A toss play to Mixon. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in.
Mixon hit, and all the ball is out. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
NFL, most teams don't have as many goals for the game like we used to have where you checked off your boxes. But 0 turnovers, that's a universal. And while it won't likely cost them in this game, they're going to regret the fact that they coughed one up here.
Yeah, their first blemish. They had mistake-free football prior. Following the fumble recovery, Goff. And he's going to be out of bounds right at the 40. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's second down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
Back to throw. Gone. Throw left side complete. That's Fisher. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Throwing on third. Gone. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. Call it a gain of 5. And that'll bring up fourth down. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is incomplete. Jason Garrett might be wanting to reconsider the decision to go for it there. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. That's another mistake there on the drop pass on fourth. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, given them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. Fresh set of downs here. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. And now here's a carry heading left. And they'll get to him just inside the 15. Even after the strong run we just saw, they're able to corral him quickly defensively. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay there.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. A great effort there. His fourth touchdown the Seahawks add on to their lead. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
And they open the lead up now to 25 points. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that. Coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Goff now to throw. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. The Broncos on third down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 2. Goff. Open man, and that's his tight end, Jake Butt. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Picked up a first down.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
The Broncos on third down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Again, Goff. But he's got his man, Hilton. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. T.Y. Hilton, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos get a bit closer.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Now the punter Dixon out to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Elsewhere across the league, 4th quarter action in Los Angeles. And that lead there for the Rams has extended. They just scored again. And if they could hold on to that lead, it would be win number 4 on the season for them. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Looks like he'll throw here. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. They're looking for a spark defensively. When he went for that ball, probably thought he had a chance at the pick. And remember, they had 2 last week in the win. Obviously losing here.
Well, you talked about looking for a spark, and the best sparks are when you make big plays for your team. And he had that opportunity there. Couldn't haul it in. But that doesn't mean they're going to back off at all. They figure if they can get one of those takeaways, they can spark their team to a win.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
out of the gun. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Francis. And they just took a timeout with 2 seconds to go. This one obviously decided. Not sure they needed to take it, but we'll take it with them. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, a little insult to injury here late in the game. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these 2 teams meet. But until then, this game's over. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were.